So here's the question. Should you keep your right arm close to the body? Well, the answer is yes and no. Hey, welcome to the channel today. It's interesting because when you're a golf coach and instructor and people see things in the golf swing, they get conceptualizations in their head of how things should be in a golf swing. And one of those things that you see a lot in really good golf swings, and especially Mo Norman's golf swing, is the right arm being close to the body. And people say, Todd, should I keep my right arm close to the body? And my answer is both, well, yes, and well, no. And how could it be both, right? And it's because in a golf swing, you're not trying, Mo Norman and nobody tries to keep the right arm close to the body, but it is close to the body at certain places during the swing. Because what happens is there's motion in the golf swing, there's rotations in the swing. And so what happens is that the right arm becomes close to the body as you rotate. So let me kind of walk you through the movement of the right arm during the swing, what I believe should be occurring in the right arm position, how it's actually working, and then you decide how you interpret the right arm being close to the body. So a lot of times I like to demonstrate this without swinging a golf club. So if you look at an address, obviously the right elbow, right arm, upper arm is not close to the body. But when I take a backswing, the arm's gonna fold, and you're gonna see it, the elbow is gonna get closer to the body, but my body's also in a rotation. But my elbow is not tucked against my side. There is a space between my arm and the elbow here at the top. So you can see that it's not sucked against my body, it's folded up, and because of the length of my lead arm, there's some space here between the elbow and the body. So that's where I think people sometimes, they get kind of caught up in the fact that, should I tuck my arm down? Well, it just needs to naturally fold up. I call this like a shoulder height position because that's where, when I get the club on plane, it'll be right here at this nice shoulder height position. Now here's where people kind of get thinking that, okay, now I got to tuck the arm down. And they tend to try to pull the arm close to the body. The problem with that thinking is that the body's going into a rotation as well. So my torso is moving into a rotation. And so when the arm comes down, the elbow starts looking close to the body because the upper torso is in a rotation. So it would look like this. Here I'm at the top, then I transition, I start coming down, and notice my body is moving into a rotation, and now look at the elbow, it looks very close to the body. However, if I was to remove rotation of my torso, see how the elbow's away from the body. And so this is the chicken or the egg stuff that happens so much in golf instruction. So somebody's like, they see this on video and they see their arm away from their body and like, oh, my arm should be closer to my body. And the answer is no, you should have more rotation in the torso. So in other words, people are trying to go, okay, they're not rotating correctly, but they're trying to get their arms close to their body, and you run into all these issues. That's why it's so very difficult to answer the questions until you know the metrics of movement of somebody's body. The golf swing is really, and we're going to talk more about this in another video, the golf swing is a matchup of mechanics. In other words, what you see in a golf swing is you're seeing the positions of the body, rotations of the body, tilts of the body, and this is what you say, well, the elbow looks close to the body now. That's because the tilt and rotation and everything is in place. And so those are the things you need to be looking at, is maybe what's causing the elbow not to be against the body, or if you had the proper rotation, the elbow's not against the body, the club would be over the top. So I'm just kind of pointing out to you, when I swing a golf club here, I am not trying to keep my arm against the body. I think thoughts like that, especially because the swing is in such fluid motion, it's happening in such a quick period of time, you can't outthink your golf swing. You can't think during your swing, because by the time you've had the thought, the time of having the thought, the swing's already over. So I'm not doing that when I swing a golf club. My goal here is to set up in the most simple fashion I can on the single plane, and then hit the backswing position to where I'm stable and in a really nice on-plane position. And then, quite frankly, is to swing through and get back on plane on the through swing. And in that process from here to here, my body is rotating and the arm goes into a position which, yes, the elbow may look close to the body. So again, the conscious thought of the elbow staying close to the body, I think is a mistake, because I think that you're trying to force the club into a position that it should happen naturally in the motion. So my recommendation for you, if I have a tip for you here, is to make sure you hit it correctly at the top, because when you start lifting this arm or the wrist position, maybe that's a discussion I should have with you, is the wrist position affects elbow position. So if you look at my wrist and I take this wrist to the top, you can see that it basically makes this hinging action this direction, and that folds the arm. a lot of times if people don't get the proper hinge, the elbow, it affects how the elbow moves, and now their elbow is out of position. So wrist position and how the wrists work, watch when I take this club to the top, how the wrist is set in its position affects how the arm, it's all connected. And that's really what I'm talking about, is things in the swing are very connected. And so isolating one little thing, if another thing is out of position, that's where you can run into some difficulty. So here we go. So here we are. I have a 700 in my hand. Very important for me to hit the proper address, get that arm folded up in the backswing. My lead arm can be, straight, a little bent, I don't care, but pretty nice and straight. Hit that plane in the backswing. And really no thought at all, because if I do this, if I start coming down, that elbow naturally moves in front of the body. Because of rotation, the elbow's in front of me, and then I release it and it straightens out. That's how the trail elbow should work in the swing. I hope that helps. It has a lot to do with the right wrist position, and that's what's really affecting how the arm works as well. Click the bell icon, give me a thumbs up. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one.